And start now. All right,
Right?
guys. So I'm here with Daniel, and Daniel has absolutely changed his life over the last whatever 3 months, like in an extraordinary way. You can look at the. I'll post a transformation picture here that you can see. But seeing what he's done in 3 months, I know a lot of people want to know exactly how he did this, and that's what we're going to talk about. But most importantly, we're going to talk about how he got here, what drove him to this, what he was trying before. So before we even get started, Daniel, I just want to read a text message you sent me the other day, and you said specifically, in 3 months of working with you, I've lost 20 pounds, gained 2 pounds of lean muscle, and gone from 24% body fat down to 14, which is almost unheard of with most people. Like I actually asked him, like, bro, are you taking something? So I real quick, obviously we're not taking any kind of substances, anything like that. But Daniel, I just kind of just share your story of like what were you doing before Fit Life? Like were you trying like different fads? Were you dieting? Were you in an exercise routine? And what led you to Fit Life, man? That's the main question.
Yeah. I was kind of one of those people that I'm almost 36 and I'd been active all through school, high school and everything. I was the type I played sports, not well, mind you. I tell people I set state records in track because I literally came in last in every single race. And if that's not a state record, I don't know what is. And I've just noticed over the years, I would always gain weight, and the weight kind of kept creeping up. I went from a fit 160 to 180 and I would always, kind of try whatever was new. I remember when I hit 180, it was like, oh man, like that was when the P90X craze came through. And I was like, okay, so let me do P90X. And I'd start it and I'd do okay and I'd have good results with it. And then I would fall off the wagon and I'd gain the however many pounds back. And then 180 turned into 200. And 200 was like, man, okay, well, there's this new thing out called the HCG diet. And I don't know if you know what that is, but if anybody's listening, don't do it. It's basically injecting yourself with a hormone that allegedly causes your body to lose fat. But really, what it is you're eating 500 calories a day and you drop weight really quick because you're eating nothing. And I did that diet twice, and I would lose 40, 50 pounds and would gain it right back.
So you dropped down to how much doing that?
I think the lowest I got was like 150. So
So when you did that, like were you like sickly or like
I don't think I was sickly necessarily. Maybe that's something to do with whatever I was injecting with myself in, because now I don't even know what it was actually. But I wouldn't say I was sickly, but I mean, my energy level was pretty crap because, again, 500 calories a day. I remember after doing that my body changed completely in not a good way. My fat distribution was different after that. I remember just, even when I got back up to 200, which inevitably happened, I was like, I look different than I used to, and it definitely reformed my body. And then,
you like the way you looked?
no, I mean, the thing is I've always chased diets that gave me the appearance of being fit without actually having to do the work of being fit. And I think that's kind of representation of a lot of life, at least for me, is that I want to look a certain way, but I don't actually want to put in the work to do it.
So
And
so
so,
essentially the roller coaster, like you get really fit and then you lose everything and then cycle back around, do it again, be really fit, lose it all.
and not even be really fit, just, I could follow a fad. I could do anything for a few, weeks or months, get some quick results, feel like I've done something. But because I established no actual habits or any patterns or any work ethic, then I was right back to the same person. And so, I tried everything. I tried the keto, I tried carnivore, where I did nothing but eat steak. That was good. I liked it. But, I did that. I did the no sugar, no flour, and nothing was ever sustainable. I would drop 20, 40 pounds and put it right back on. And, I found myself last year looking at 125 pounds, which was the heaviest I'd ever been, and absolutely no muscle. Every time I would lose that weight, I'd look like a limp noodle because I'd have nothing to me. And, just really hated the way I felt and hated the roller coaster of just up and down all the time.
So what at that point, like what has brought you to Fit Life? What's been going on to get you to the point of like actually reaching out? Because I know there was some hesitation at first of like I guess asking me like, does this guy really know what he's talking about? Like what transpired to you going from those fad lifestyles to to the fit life?
I think at some point you just realize that you can't substitute hard work. I think once I had tried literally just about every diet out there, man, no matter how ridiculous it was, and to see that it never really worked, you kind of get tired of it. Somebody really cared about had worked with you before and had referred me to you and was like, you would really enjoy working with him. And so I was like, I need somebody to tell me what to do because it gets overwhelming. When you look, the first day I met you, I told you, you can talk to 10 different people and get 10 different levels of advice on what to eat, what to work out, how to work out, what to do when you work out. You get some people that are like carbs is the devil, and then some people that are like all the carbs. It gets exhausting. And realizing that I didn't have the answers because if I did, I would have been able to keep it off.
Yeah.
That's when I was like, okay, well, maybe I'll give somebody else a shot and just follow your lead and see where it takes me.
So when you first started, my main thing was like you just said is like simplify this entire process. If it's simple, we're gonna do it. What did you first do in order to start seeing the results that you're seeing now? What was your first step to getting there?
Showing up. Showing up. I mean, the thing is what I realize is you can say, I can say, I want to lose 25 pounds. But the reality is, I can't control that. I can't control how fast my body lets go of it. I can't control how my body responds to certain things. I just had to learn to control what I can control, which means first thing is I'm going to show up. I'm going to do whatever it is that's put in front of me because while I may not be able to control how fast or how much weight I lose or how much muscle I gain, I can control what I do, which is showing up, putting in the effort, finishing the exercises as much as I may not want to, and being consistent. So that's kind of the number one thing that I learned is like just showing up is part of it.
Now, prior, were you on any type of fitness routine consistently?
No, I would try something for maybe a month or so. I did the DDP yoga for guys, which was great. It's a great workout. It's fantastic. But because I never had anybody kind of expecting anything out of me, it was just me against me. And me against me, I tend to lose that one. And so
Yeah,
I wouldn't,
I
I'd give
do.
up.
So with that being said, man, so what was your mindset going in? Okay, so you started to see results fairly quickly. We went and got the in-body scan. But for you, when I was telling you information on what to do and how to do it, was it simplified enough to where you could understand, like, okay, I'm going to implement this and go on to the next thing?
Absolutely. I think that's what made it so simple is that, everything from, nutrition, you didn't just hammer down on concrete. I want you to get this amount and no more, no less. You gave me ranges to stay within, this many grams of protein and this many grams of fat and this many grams of carbs. And so there was some freedom in there. Having one or two cheat meals a week was, some flexibility to where I didn't have to feel so rigid that one mistake was going to make me fall apart. The workouts were simple enough to where, I looked and I knew what was coming. I knew what was expected of me. And I think that's a lot of times it's just having clarity on what's supposed to be done. That's the big thing. So, yeah.
Now, for you, a lot of people hit that 3 month, 6 month gap, and they're like, okay, I am where I want to be. What's the next step? So, like for you, what's your next goal? And I always talk about long term goals. Like, what can we do from now until let's just say a year, 2 years down the road? For you, what's your next goal?
Oh, man. I think that's where it's gotten fun is because, there's been three things that have been said to me over the past few months by people that have been kind of playing in my head. One of the things that was said to me is like, Daniel, you've become a spectator in your own life. And that hit me like, man, like watching life play out instead of taking control of it. The other thing was somebody told me like you are more capable than you believe. And I'm starting to see that that's true. Whenever things are hard, I hear that voice in my head and I replay it and I'm like, yeah, I am capable. But the third thing was said to me by you, and it was at the end of January, and I was about to walk out on a workout without finishing it. And you're like, yeah, you done, man? I'm like, well, kinda. What you got left? I'm just gonna skip that. And you said to me, why can't you? Why can't you do that? And so it's kind of interesting. Like the other day, last week in the challenge, I got 50,000 steps, which comes out to 25 miles in one day. And my friend was like, you basically walked a marathon. You should train for a marathon. And 3 months ago, I would have said, you are crazy.
Yeah.
But now my thought is, well, why can't I?
Yeah.
You know? So, am I going to train for a marathon? I don't know. I've got some goals you and I have talked about, but the main thing is just every day coming in and competing against myself, doing the next right thing, holding myself accountable, and continuing to just show up. That's a goal within itself, and it's a goal that starts over every single day.
So if you were to have somebody, so if you were to talk to somebody that was in your shoes prior, or somebody that's on the edge of their seat, and they're like, I don't know if I should, whether it's with me or with anybody in their life, what would you tell someone that's thinking about taking that next step and saying, hey, I want to get healthy, I want to fix my life, I want everything to be in alignment? What would you tell that person that's thinking about doing it but not pulling the trigger?
So I'm actually going to pull a page from scripture here because this is something that I read. There's a story in scripture where Jesus tells a story about a fig tree. And it says that there's this fig tree that for 3 years hasn't produced any fruit whatsoever. And the master of the vineyard comes and he looks at it and he's like, this tree is garbage. He's like, take it, burn it up, like get rid of it. It's worthless. But the vineyard keeper says, hold on a second. How about you let me spend some time with it and let me put some fertilizer on it and give it a year and come back and see what happens? What I would say is that a lot of times for me, I felt like that fig tree of like, man, I've been doing this year after year after year. Nothing's happening. Nothing's changing. I'm doing the same thing over and over again, right? But what I realized is that if I surrounded myself with people who are willing to give me something that I don't have, which is like fertilizer, right? That's the idea. And if I give it time, then things can happen. And that's what I've done in my life. And you know this too, not just in physical health, but in my spiritual health, my financial, everything I'm doing is that I'm learning that I can't do this by myself. And so the level of accountability that I get from you, expecting me to be there, expecting to see me X amount of times a week, and then just putting in the time and the special attention, I am starting to see results. And it's because I stopped trying to do everything on my own and brought other people into my life to care about me and help.
That's funny, man. That the service last Sunday at church was talking about David and how he needed help when he was being tracked down and trying to end his life. The whole message was just ask for help. It doesn't matter where you are or what you're doing. Everyone needs help. And if you can, like you said, if you can surround yourself with a group of people that are doing the same thing that you want to be doing, people that can help you get to that next level, that keeps you accountable and that keeps you going for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Versus trying to do everything on your own. I've seen people try to do everything on their own and everything, business, life, family, and it's led into a deeper pit than from where they started. And I love that you said that.
It's easy to say, I need more self-discipline. And I can't tell you how many times I've done that, right? I've said, oh, I just need to have more self-discipline. But the question is, where are you going to get that from? Because if I don't have it, I've got to be looking from it from someone else. And that's where I need someone else to come alongside and give me the self-discipline that they've got. And then as I get it, I can give it to others. But I can't give somebody that something I don't have. And I can't create something in me that's not there.
Man, that is so wise. And you think about that. Like I think about that specifically with parents, moms who run themselves into the ground doing things for other people, and dads too, and they don't do anything for themselves. They just run themselves into the ground. And when it comes time to be nurturing to whether it be your spouse or your children, you have nothing left to give. You've given everything to everybody, and you didn't pour any water on yourself to say, hey, let me grow. Let me be me. So I like that, man. It's you got to take care of yourself. You got to surround yourself with people that are doing the things you want to do to keep you accountable, to keep you on track, to hit that next level. Um, I like it, dude.
Thanks, man.
Well, everybody, that was Daniel. Daniel, 3 months in, his life has changed, and it's just we're at a point now where we're just trying to focus on maintaining and taking another step here, another step here. It's not about this. It's about get the results, maintain the results, and when you're motivated again, you're going to go shoot for it. So it's all about maintenance. It's all about drive. It's all about accountability. And Daniel's mastering that. And I think Daniel needs to go mentor some other people because this was a great podcast.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you and everything you've done.
Hey,
If you're on the fence and you're listening to this, just give him a call. It'll be worth it.
Other than that, everybody, Fit Life out. If you have any questions, be sure to comment on the video or click one of my links and just give me a shout. Maybe I can help you out. Peace. So I'm going to stop the recording.